Hey, it's me again. I got my little crappie.com hat on. I know you guys are going to say it's pronounced crappie, but down here where we are, we say crappie. Anyway, I got a couple of quick tips and tricks for you parents and grandparents who might want to take your little ones out fishing. And you can use these ideas even if you are not in the boat, because we want to be really, really safe, especially with our little ones. Okay, and when you go fishing with kids, I'd say probably younger than 8 or 10 anyway. The most important thing you can do is pack a lot of snacks, pack a lot of fluids, and pack a lot of patience, because you're going to need it. I raised 3 boys. They're all fine grown men now. And I've got 2 granddaughters. And let me tell you, you better have lots of patience. So when you go fishing and you take the youngsters, remember that the goal is for them to have a good time. It needs to be an adventure for them. It's not the day for, you to worry about you so much, but it's all about the children. So where I live, here in South Carolina, if you fish in a boat, the youngsters, I think it's under the age of 12, I can look it up, they must have a life vest, life jacket on at all times in the boat. This is one, that you could wear. It's not the most comfortable kind. It's a little heavy, little warm in the summer, but this is the ones that people wear a lot of times when they're riding a tube or something behind the boat. And it's pretty simple. When you go to buy them, it's going to be based on the kid's weight mostly. So for the real little ones, you're going to have this type. And these are the ones that have the crotch strap that goes between their legs, and then it connects up here, right there. The reason for that is, if their little arms start to slip out of the armholes, they've got something keeping them into this life jacket. Now, I have had one go overboard before. One of my sons fell over on Lake Lanier down in Georgia. He was a little fella, probably maybe 4 years old, I'm guessing. And he had the proper life vest on, and he just was laying like a turtle on his back in the water, and we just scooped him right back in. No big deal. Things like that could happen. So, number one, make sure you got them a good life jacket, okay? Personal flotation device, PFD. That's the most important thing. Even if you're fishing on a dock, you'd be surprised how quick somebody can go under, fall off a dock, a pier, even on the bank. How many times have you been on a bank and slipped? So when you got little kids, put that PFD on them. Put that life vest on them, whatever you call it. Make them wear it. Make them get used to wearing it. It's important, okay? Now, second thing is, don't put your expensive equipment in the hands of a child and not expect to have some kind of disaster, okay? You don't spend all this money for nice equipment and then hand it to these inexperienced little boogers, because they're just learning. So it's one of the greatest things you can ever do right here. And I know I have lost rods and reels, combos. I've lost them in the water. And it's not always the kids. It's not always kids. I was fishing in Charleston one time, and a grown man went back to heave a nice cast, okay? And somehow he hit something, and the rod and reel went one way and his arms went the other, and we never found that combo. We dragged around and tried to fish it back out of the lake. Out of the tidal creek. We never found it. I was on Lake Wiley one day, and I saw a guy over there. I thought he had boat trouble. I pulled up and, cruised in there, and I said, "What's going on?" And he said, "Oh, man," he said, I dropped my rod and reel in the water, and I've been trying to drag and fish it back out. So it can happen. But here's some good advice for you. If you can just put it in your memory bank, those of you that, you're wanting to take little ones out, or you may be about to become grandparents and you want to take grandkids out or whatever. Go get you one of these. This is made by Zebco, okay? This particular one is called the Splash. It's a little fishing rod for little ones. I would say probably 4 and under, maybe, something like that, just saying. Everybody's kid is different level, I know your kid is probably the greatest in the world, and you could probably hand him a Lew's rod with a Garcia bait caster on it. But for the normal people out there, go get you one of these. It's a Zebco reel. I will put a link on the ones that Bass Pro sells. Let's see here. Flip this around. These are called Kid Casters. There's a picture from their big master catalog for this year. Okay, so there's kind of a picture of them. But anyway, you can go on Bass Pro and see those. I think this one came years ago from Walmart. But here's the deal. Comes with a little plastic, little fishy that you can cast out in the yard, and they can learn how to cast. There are no complicated eyes on this at all. They have these tubes. There's only a couple of them, as you can see right here. I hope you can see all this really well. Okay. It's a spin cast reel. It has a drag knob. You hear that? You can adjust the drag knob here, just like the big boys. Okay. I think it's spooled with 6-pound line. I'm not positive about that. But anyway, what's cool about this is when you drop this rod in the lake, this handle is filled with foam, and that rod, when it goes over the edge of the boat, this is my blue boat edge of my tracker. When it falls in the water, it sits up just like that. That handle will be sticking out of the water, and you can get your rod back. That is a cool, nifty little thing. That's what you put in the hands of the little ones, okay? Trust me, that'll save them a lot of hard feelings. It'll save you a lot of hard feelings. Just get the right stuff for them, okay? Then, when they graduate from that, I'm going to say when they're maybe 5 or older, I don't know. This one is also a Zebco one, but there are other companies that make them. This one was called Hot Cast. They have different versions of this, and I don't have a lure on this one. I just have a swivel here so that I can quick change if my granddaughters want to switch out to a crankbait or something. But this one is a little bit more strong, a little stronger. This one is a medium light action. The little tiny tot here was just a really little spindly thing. It might handle a small bass. I don't know. It's probably more panfish. But this one is medium light. This one you can take. This says it'll take 6 to 10 pound line. Okay, I think it's spooled with 6 also. Actually, I did not buy this one as a combo. This was a rod. They had some rods on clearance, and I bought the rods, and I put the little cheap. If you'll notice, this is nothing but a little Zebco 202. Single knob. Really cheap little deal. Has the drag setting knob here with it. There you go. It's basically got the anti-reverse like you want with fishing with a little kid. We have caught tons of fish with these. I've got some pink ones, some orange ones, and we've caught a bunch of fish with these. We have even used these long line trolling, if you can believe it. These are only, let's see if I can find the length. I think this is a 4.5 foot, okay? 4.5 foot rod. So it comes up to about, my collarbone, okay? It's a 4.5 foot rod, and we have used these. Like I said, we've casted lures with them. We've used them trolling out of the back of the boat. And they've handled some pretty good little fish, especially some nice slabs and some small spotted bass. They've handled some plenty of white perch. We have white perch here, and they haven't been a problem. These do not float. All right, there's no float device in this. There's no foam built in these. Okay, so they will not float. You drop these overboard, they're gone. You can buy this little gadget. This is just a piece of foam. It's like a teeny tiny pool noodle, if you could imagine. It has little Velcro strips. And what it does, it's split on one side right here. Okay, and you can put that on a rod. All right. This is kind of old school. You put that on the rod. You put your Velcro strips back around it to secure it, It's a lot simpler than I'm making it look. But anyway, you put the two strips around there. Go under the line, obviously. And then it'll stay on there. And if you were to drop it in the lake, then it will float. You can get it back. It's a little cumbersome. I'm not crazy, not a big fan about it. It adds a little weight to it, but it is an option, okay? It is an option. Now, the little tiny toddler rod here is a one-piece solid composition rod reel combo. It's all together. If you break this reel, you've broken the whole thing, okay? You can't interchange the reel or anything. It's just made like that. This one unscrews, and of course it's got a reel seat, and you can take the reel out. You can change reels, which is handy as they get a little older if you want to go to a reel that's got some more, I guess you'd say, high-end guts or something. You've got options. This is a two-piece rod, okay? So it will break down if for some reason you need to do that. Right there's the joint. And, if you want to carry it or let them carry it, whatever. But the main point that I'm making in this video is put the life jackets on the little darlings, okay? And get them the correct rod and reel so you don't have a disastrous time, a terrible time out there. That's not what it's about. And, as I said in the beginning, pack a lot of patience. When I take my little granddaughters, we may fish for 2 hours, and then we may pull up at an island and have a big picnic, and they'll get out. If the weather's warm, they'll get out and wade in the water, sometimes swim, get back, fish. I've got a little short floating, it looks like a butterfly net, but it's like a little net, but it floats. And I can tell you a lot of times my oldest granddaughter would be seriously fishing, and the youngest granddaughter would be playing over the edge of the boat with that net, just, picking up trash or leaves or whatever, just clowning around, because they get bored easy. Their attention span is short, shorter than ours is, and you have to remember that. So stop, take breaks, go take bathroom breaks. You're not in a tournament. You're out there for them, making it an adventure. And my grandfather did that for me. He catered to me. We would drive all the way from North Georgia to Yankeetown, Florida, just above Crystal River. And we would fish for, flounder, trout, redfish, whatever we could get inshore fishing. And he made it into such a great adventure that I was hooked from then on. And I've been fishing the rest of my life. So you can either be a crab and ruin it for them, and they'll never want to fish, or you can do it the right way, and you'll have fishing buddies forever. You'll have fishing partners until one of you guys dies, basically, So good luck to you. I hope it helps. I hope you have a lot of great success, and I hope you pass it on to the next generation.